Peter, I don't know how long it's been since you've been a head coach of a team and this was your responsibility, but can you speak to this idea?
Yeah, again, I'm being on board with Hal and the rest of you. You're essentially this was my philosophy. I mean, for me, it started with everything we did on campus, as far as how we greeted other students, how we greeted professors, the community service we did. I spent easily as much time helping try to create culture and guide as I did with the X's and O's. And I firmly believe the success we had was equally as important with the fact that our culture was such that it was. We had a wonderful culture. We led the university out of the 20 plus sports teams. Almost annually, we led in community service hours. There was also a point where I think we were second in the nation. They keep track, Division One, Division Two, Division Three. Actually, there's this group that keeps track of the community service hours that teams do, and I think we came in second in the nation in that. Um, that to me, that's the difference maker, right? At the end of the day, if I know that I can count on Wally, and Wally knows that he can count on me, we'll do whatever we need to do to support each other. That's off the ice, and that spills on the ice, and that's really one of my frustrations with coaches. Some of the coaches today, not all of them, but some of the coaches today, like Hal was just saying, that's really hard, and it's not necessarily fun. If a coach wrote down what their responsibilities and jobs were, they felt as a head coach before they were a head coach. I don't know how much emphasis would actually be on this, but I mean, I've heard things like, we're not going to do community service with that group because they don't really support us. They don't do much for us. Well, it's not why you do community service. You don't do it to get something back from those individuals. You get it to contribute. And what you get back is the fact that you're learning as a group that's important to contribute. And once you can teach that kind of culture, then you will be amazed at the dividends it will pay in your room and in close games. And so, yeah, I mean, that is, again, I've always worked on that. That's always been a huge part of who I was as a coach. And I don't know if there's less of it because there's self-imposed pressure on some coaches to win. I mean, at the youth level, there's so little of that goes on. It's disappointing, which does also make it a little bit difficult, I think, to teach at the higher levels when you weren't taught that. So that's kind of my take on it. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing that honestly, Wally, forever. That's been one of my mantras: is leave everything better than the way you found it.
You formally did it at a university level with university athletes. Um, I don't know that any of our teams do that, uh, Tom, uh, Jordan, because we have two practices a week. We're focusing on getting ready to play games to be successful. And um, the leadership component, I have to admit, my granddaughter played soccer, and that when she was 14 and 15, every week they spent days at an old folks home with seniors. And I just sort of brushed it off. It was very nice of them to do, but I think we can't underestimate the value of recognizing that they can do some things to help other people. And it makes you a better teammate. And there's no doubt about that. I'm glad you brought that up, Peter.
Well, Wally, our team last year, I know we went and did food hampers, and there was some other thing, and then we had a little, young team that was our they they came to some of our games, and the girls went on the ice and helped them and all that. So at at this level, I think it's really important that your managers are really good and able to get, you know, be aware where they can help and do this kind of stuff. Because the girls are pretty busy. Like our team, I think we did shooting on Monday, practice Tuesday, dryland on Wednesday, practice Thursday, and then 2 games on the weekend. So